Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. Appreciate you taking out time to check this video out. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Comment. Never required, always appreciated. So let's get into it. This episode, we are going to go into the future. Far into the future. Like Xbox 360 future. A lot of our games we've done have been around the NES, the SNES, PlayStation, but nothing quite close to current gen. And we're not there yet. We will get there. I promise you. We got some current gen stuff on the way. But I'd like to talk to you about one of my favorite franchises of all time. That's Mass Effect. And in order to do that, I have to talk about the original Mass Effect. Yes, Mass Effect 2, probably a better game, highly rated, and deservedly so. Mass Effect 3, I don't know if we're going to do a video on that one, but it's definitely an integral part of the series. But for me, my favorite, Darius's personal favorite one of the series, Mass Effect 1. And that is for a multitude of reasons that we'll get into. First and foremost, it builds the world. Without this foundation, you don't get to enjoy some of the fruits and spoils in Mass Effect 2 without the groundwork to Mass Effect 1. Now, the first time I played this game, the game came out in 2007, November of 2007, if I'm not mistaken. And first time I played it was in December of 2007. I was actually living with a couple of my high school friends, right? We got an apartment post high school and, you know, we live in the dream. And one of my roommates, Ronnie, shout out to Ronnie, and Heather, how y'all doing? He bought the game, and he had been telling us about this game actually a couple of years prior because BioWare made Knights of the Old Republic, so we were already fans. And he was telling us about this sci-fi space game. And to be fair, I'm not the biggest sci-fi fan, but trust me, when it's done right, sci-fi is amazing. And he was showing us these videos with the character models, and I'm like, man, it looked really good, you know, but not really, you know, thinking about it too much. Plus, this wasn't the time quite yet where we kind of kept track of release dates and things like that. It was more like, if the game is out, I'll give it a shot. If not, what else am I playing type of thing. There was only a handful of games at that time where we were actually looking at release dates and whatnot. So a little bit later, I say probably 4 or 5 months later, I end up really starting the game, starting to dive into it. And let me just say, mind was blown. Now, when you start the game, everybody gets to make their own Commander Shepard, right? I made Fem Shep, and I made Vanguard Fem Shep, which I have made throughout every Mass Effect entry that I've played. If Vanguard Fem Shep is available, that's who I pick. Now, the character customization itself, nothing crazy, nothing in depth, nothing that Steven could spend more than 30 minutes on, even though he might try. But it's just enough to make your Shepard look, you know, how you would like. And you get to pick your background. You know, I had to be an Earth kid. And you start the game. Now, just to give you a little background on your character without spoiling too much, you're essentially the best of the best, right? You are the perfect representation of Earth. Now that Earth is in space and we're dealing with all these different races of intelligent races, to be completely clear. And they don't like us because they feel like we're too new. Understandable. But Shepard's determined to prove everybody wrong. And the idea is that Shepard's going to become a special officer, basically, in the intergalactic military, known as a Spectre. Now, I'm not going to go any further than that with any details of the story, but you're going to meet a whole different cast of characters. Like, the number of different people who play some minor but also major roles in not only the first game, but in all 3 of the games, it's just amazing. I've never played a game, still to this day, that has so many overarching stories from start to finish. And so many of these relationships start on Mass Effect 1. Like, just the races alone. And I'm just going off the top of my head, so forgive me if I miss any of the races. Feel free to tell me your favorite races in the comments. But like the Hanars, you know, who talk in third person, always referring to themselves as this one. Or the Volus, who have the communication, not communication device, the breathing apparatuses on them, and they talk in the Just so many different characters like that make such a great impression. One of my favorite main characters is Erdnot Rex, and his race of people are just warriors. They're brutes, they're warriors. That's what they do. They fight. They've been employed in numerous different battles, and Rex is about that action, right? And then on the complete other side of the spectrum, we got characters like Tali, Liara, just such a diverse cast. And everybody's not going to make it in some form or fashion in Mass Effect. Like, that's the one thing that it forces you to deal with. That this is war, this is life or death, and there's going to be death and there's going to be tragedy, and you can't save everybody. So you have to make the tough choices throughout each of the games, who goes on what missions, and some people may not come back. And that's one of the beautiful but tragic things that the game does, where you have to make all these choices. Now, I know that when the game came out, it was only on Xbox 360, and when they came out with Mass Effect 2, they had the comic, basically choose your adventure version of the first game. That's not good enough. You need to play Mass Effect 1. If I'm not mistaken, in a week or so, based on when this video comes out, the Legendary Edition re-release of the trilogy should be available on Game Pass for PC and console. Or if you can just get a copy of the Legendary Edition re-release of the trilogy, I recommend you do so. I know a number of my friends tell me that this is their favorite game or favorite series of all time. Shout out to Tony. So I had to do a video about this. Like I said, I don't want to spoil too much because I really want you to take time to play this game. This series is so good that I sent my brother a copy, and I was like, man, look, I'm not telling you what to play. I'm just telling you to play this game. That's how impactful this game was. And that's how much I enjoy the series. I've played through it multiple times. It also shares a special place in my heart because this is the first game that I streamed on my Twitch channel. So we put a lot of hours into this. And we also got the bad ending on Mass Effect 3, which I thought was hilarious. Which, again, multiple choices, multiple endings. It's just, one of those games that have done something that hasn't been duplicated. I know some other games have tried, and maybe there are games out there who do what Mass Effect did just as good, if not better. If so, let me know. Because as far as I know, for someone who's not the biggest sci-fi fan, this is one of the best sci-fi adventures I've ever played. I definitely recommend you try it out. Let me know your thoughts on this game, particularly the first game. I know the combat isn't great as compared to 2 and 3, but this is my personal favorite. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, as well as your thoughts on the Mass Effect series. As always, feel free to like, comment, and share. Appreciate you for checking out the video. Stay safe. Have fun. Peace.